You don't need more income. You need a different way of thinking about money. That might sound uncomfortable, especially if your first instinct is to say, "No, I definitely need more money." But take a moment and think about this. If earning more automatically solved financial problems, then why do so many people making $80,000, $100,000, even $150,000 a year still feel financially stuck? Let's walk through a very normal, very real scenario. Imagine someone in their early 30s living in a major US or European city. They earn around $85,000 a year. After taxes, that's roughly $5,000 per month. Now subtract the basics. Rent or mortgage, $1,800. Car payment, $450. Insurance, fuel, maintenance, $250. Student loan, $300. Groceries, $400. Utilities and subscriptions, $300. We're already at $3,500. Now add lifestyle, dining out, occasional travel, shopping, social events. Another $800 to $1,000. That leaves maybe $500 on a good month. And that's assuming nothing unexpected happens. No medical expense, no urgent travel, no major repair. From the outside, this person looks financially stable. They have a good salary, a decent car, a nice apartment. But internally, they're operating on a very thin margin. Now here's the part most people miss. The problem isn't just how much they earn. It's how they define what they can afford. Because in this system, affordability isn't based on total cost. It's based on monthly payments. That car isn't seen as a $30,000 decision. It's seen as $450 a month. The apartment isn't viewed as a long-term financial commitment. There's just $1,800 rent. And the credit card. That becomes a tool to smooth everything out until it quietly becomes part of the problem. So the real mistake isn't overspending in an obvious way. It's thinking in fragments instead of totals. Monthly instead of long-term. Comfort instead of consequence. And psychologically, this makes perfect sense. Because humans are wired to prioritize the present. A slightly nicer apartment feels immediate. A newer car feels rewarding. Saying no to these things doesn't feel like saving. It feels like losing. Especially when everyone around you seems to be upgrading their life at the same time. Colleagues, friends, social media. It all reinforces the same idea. If you can pay for it monthly, you can afford it. But that belief has a hidden cost. Let's go back to that $450 car payment. Over 5 years, that's $27,000. Add insurance and running costs, and you're easily past $40,000. Now think about what that money could have done instead. Not in a dramatic, get-rich-quick way, but in a slow, predictable way. Invested consistently, even at moderate returns, it doesn't just disappear. It compounds. Quietly. In the background. The same applies to smaller decisions too. An extra $500 a month in lifestyle spending doesn't feel significant. But over 10 years, that's $60,000. And that's before any growth. So the issue isn't that people are irresponsible. It's that the system encourages a version of financial thinking that feels safe but isn't. It rewards consumption that looks manageable today, while quietly limiting flexibility tomorrow. And over time, that creates a strange situation, where income increases, but financial freedom doesn't. Now here's where the mindset shift begins. Financially aware people don't just ask, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" They ask, "What is this costing me over time?" And more importantly, what is this replacing? Because every financial decision isn't just an expense. It's a trade-off. That car payment might be replacing future investments. That higher rent might be replacing flexibility. That lifestyle upgrade might be replacing time. Time you'll later need to earn more just to sustain it. So instead of optimizing for comfort today, they optimize for options later. They don't avoid spending. They just become more intentional about what they're actually buying. Not just the product, but the long-term impact attached to it. And this doesn't require a higher income. It requires a different lens. A shift from, "What can I manage monthly?" to "What am I committing to long-term?" Because once you start thinking that way, the same income starts to feel very different. The same decisions start to look heavier. And slowly, without dramatic changes, your financial direction begins to shift. Not because you earned more, but because you started seeing more clearly. And that clarity compounds, just like money does. If this made you pause and think a little differently about your own decisions, consider subscribing. Not for motivation, but for perspective.